This might be the realest that you see me when it comes to this stream, this show, these lives. I don't have anything left in me right now. I gave it all throughout that game. I was on my feet, lost my voice a little bit. It's over. It's done. The Knicks season has officially come to an end. Shout out to everybody watching on the live stream. Shout out to the chat gang. I promise you I will get to you guys very soon. This will not be a long stream, but I wanted to do you guys the service. Everybody who has supported me throughout this season, everybody who has been there for me through everybody who's been there for me throughout every single post game, every video that you've watched. I had to give you that same respect and support back by making sure I got to you after the Knicks season was officially ended. But not only are we going to do that, we're going to break down some things about the game, not like it's any big surprise why the Knicks lost the game. I don't even have to bring out the stats. Everybody knows. We're going to get to it. We're also going to talk about the major changes that are now coming to the Knicks after this loss to the Pacers. Now, we spoke about some of these major changes happening a couple of days ago, but we didn't specify exactly what was going to happen because we weren't there yet. Now we're there. So it's time to start talking about what's going to happen next. But I'm gutted right now. I feel absolutely gutted. I can't believe what I saw. Obviously, we all wish the result was different. Nobody wants to come up here and talk about a loss. Nobody wants to talk about the Knicks losing. But when you talk about the game, you talk about the loss, you start to look at certain things about this team, about this roster, certain weaknesses, certain things that they were allowing the Indiana Pacers to do. Then you start looking at the coaching level, the adjustments, the lack of adjustments, the personnel, the roster. And now you can understand what changes are likely coming this offseason. I'm not sure exactly how many changes we're going to see because clearly the Knicks are going to jump a couple of times depending on what's happening this offseason and what's available. But two things we know for certain right now moving forward, we're likely going to see roster changes and we might see coaching changes moving forward. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today, catch you up with everything that went on for tonight's Game 6, and break down some key aspects as well. We're going to get to your thoughts as well about this game and a couple of other thoughts from you guys for the rest of the season moving forward. So definitely stay tuned. You don't want to miss anything else that we have moving forward. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, you guys can do me a huge favor by going ahead and smashing that like button and making sure you subscribe to the channel. It only takes a few seconds. It's free, and it really does support all the great content that we're creating for you. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. The Knicks season is over. The Indiana Pacers in Game 6 ran amok, knocked the New York Knicks out of the Eastern Conference Finals, out of the playoffs, and effectively ended their season. Now, they did it in a number of ways. This is not a post-game show, so we're not going to break down each and every quarter, each and every part of the game or everything like that. But we will talk about some of the main reasons that we lost. Why? Because that's going to help us look at the future. So let's go ahead and break it down. You might see me look at my notepad here for a couple of things because I want to make sure I stay on track so I don't go too past the show's runtime here. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, at least when it comes to the Knicks right now, the main reason that New York lost this game, I don't even know the exact number, but I'm sure it was extremely high. The main reason the New York Knicks lost this game to the main reason that the Knicks lost this game to the Indiana Pacers was because of our turnovers. The amount of turnovers, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, and you might not see a turnover for Karl-Anthony Towns, but when you're watching Towns, you're watching what he does down low, what he tries to do, how he's out of control at times, turning the ball over, out of control, didn't show up for this game. I mean, the Knicks did not play this game as if their backs were against the wall. They did not play this game with any form of desperation. And you could see that from the opening moments of the game. Where was that defensive pressure that we saw in game 5 to start off the game? You know, where we're up on the players, not giving them any space on any shots. We forgot how to do that. The Knicks allowed the Indiana Pacers to shoot, I believe, 50+% from 3. That's at least what it was by halftime, and I'm sure it only got better as the game went on because we were allowing them to shoot nearly uncontested shots. How do you beat a team when you are allowing them to run? You're not playing great transition defense. You're allowing them to shoot open three-point shots. And you're not even able to take away some of the things that they're doing on a regular basis. You can't stop them in transition. You can't stop their open threes. You can't stop them from attacking. And the only way you can stop them, apparently, is by fouling. And then you send them to the line, stopping the clock. Some of the moves, some of the bad passes are just low IQ moves. When we're taking a shot with 20 seconds left to go in the quarter, and we have time left, we can actually wait to shoot the ball. We're not doing that. Why? Why are we not doing that? Why are we not playing that defensive pressure consistently? Where is it? What happened? And what happened to Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns tonight? You want to talk about reasons why the Knicks lost this game. Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, their struggles. Some of the main reasons why New York lost. Some adjustments, lack of adjustments. Why we didn't see Mitchell Robinson more in the second half. Where was he? One of the main reasons the Knicks were so close in this game to begin with was because of Mitchell Robinson. We were struggling, turning the ball over, allowing them to shoot open three-point shots. But did you guys even wonder why it was a 4-point game at halftime or why the Knicks were only 1 or 2 points away when we were going into the second quarter? It was because of the blockness monster, Mitchell Robinson, his impact, offensive rebounds, dominating, block shots, dominating, putting that fear in other players so they don't want to penetrate. So the shots are not that easy inside. Mitchell Robinson was doing all of that, and we didn't make the adjustment in the second half. So we're not making adjustments. We're allowing them to shoot open threes. Our stars are not there, and we're turning the ball over like crazy. Some of them are forced turnovers. Some of them are give-me's, bad passes, deflections, things we would do better if we understood where we were moving the ball to. Why am I talking about all of this if it's not a post game? Why am I talking about all of this if we're talking about major changes coming? Well, let's talk about that. The adjustments that we needed from the bench. Our star players didn't do what they needed to do when we needed them to do it. And when you even look at our wings, shout out to OG Anunoby, who actually came to play during Game 6. Mikal Bridges, some good moments on offense, some good moments on defense, and his greatest moments on offense really came in that first half, that first quarter. The rest? Mikal Bridges allowed Tyrese Halliburton to go off in that fourth quarter. Where we were trying to make the run, trying to come back, we had no answer. No Mikal Bridges to shut down anybody. No real defense to shut down anybody. Oh, and by the way, nobody's communicating. Nobody's communicating out there. It's silent. Nobody's talking. No one is talking. Roster issues. Bench issues. If nobody's talking out there and you're calling timeouts and you're able to run timeout plays, but nobody's still talking out there, I'll look at the players, but I'm also going to look at the coach, right? I think we're all going to do that. We're all going to look at both. And I'm glad we do, because the reason this game is a loss, The reason the Knicks dropped this game 125 to 108 is because of all of those mistakes, all of those issues, all of those problems that I just reviewed with you guys. But that's what leads to change. How do you get change? You think if everything was great, we would get change? You don't get change if everything looks good. You get change if you know you need something else. If you know you've hit this level, this limit with this team. And I think with the Knicks, after this series, I think they understand it. There is a limit, a level to this team that they're not able to bring out of them because they need to make additions. And that's where this following report by Ian Bagley of SNY actually comes in a lot of handy and something that we're going to go over. We mentioned a few days ago, there was a report that came out. If the Knicks did not do what they needed to do against the Indiana Pacers, if they were not able to beat the Indiana Pacers during this series, there was likely a lot of changes that was going to happen. A lot of changes that were going to come. Now we can actually talk about what some of those changes are. Shout out to Ian Bagley of SNY for giving us this following information here. Let's go ahead and break down exactly what they had to say. Now, obviously, you can see there, the New York Knicks are eliminated. That is our status right now. The Indiana Pacers knocked us out of the postseason. Now, going to the update. As we see there, if the Knicks don't beat the Indiana Pacers, and clearly we didn't beat the Indiana Pacers, the organization will have to ask itself several important questions. Two of the most pressing questions are obvious ones. Is Tom Thibodeau the right coach for this team? And is the roster good enough to compete for a title? Well, the last one is obvious. We have the team, we have the personnel, but this roster, at least for this year, is not enough to get a championship. So what does that mean? That means roster changes are coming. Roster changes are absolutely coming. There is no question about that. But what about the coaching change? That's the real question we have to talk about here. You could mention a lot of reasons why the Knicks did not get the job done, did not get the job done during this postseason. A lot of you guys, a lot of fans, myself included, we've been very critical of head coach Tom Thibodeau, myself included. Now, my feelings toward head coach Tom Thibodeau, especially after tonight's game. You're a defensive-minded head coach. Your team is struggling on defense. We need to make better adjustments. We needed Mitchell Robinson out there a lot earlier. We need to be that defensive team that we were in Game 5. The inconsistencies as a team, you look at the team, but are you not going to look at the coach either? Are you not going to look at the coaching staff? It's both. This offseason, I expect there to be a lot of roster changes. But in terms of a coaching change, while I would love to come up here and say Tom Thibodeau's job is gone, he is likely going to be leaving the Knicks and he's not going to be back next season. Number one, I can't say that because I don't believe it. Number two, who is going to replace Tom Thibodeau? What coach replaces him? Because what I'm thinking about right now is what Leon Rose is thinking about this situation. Is Leon Rose looking at this loss as the Knicks failed? Or is he seeing this as last year, the Knicks were in the Eastern Conference Finals? Last year, the Knicks were in the Eastern Conference semifinals. They lost. This year, the Knicks made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, a place nobody thought they would be. We haven't been here in 25 years. We broke history for the modern Knicks in order for us to do this. So if you're looking at it from that lens, is Tom Thibodeau going to be gone? Is he leaving? In that situation, I can't see Tom Thibodeau going. I can't see him moving on. I can't see Leon Rose ending that partnership. I think Tom Thibodeau, because of the run that he had this year, because of the backing that he has from the players, I think he's earned himself at least one more year as the Knicks head coach. Now, some of you may hate that. Some of us may love that. It depends on where you feel about it. For me, I think we all know how I feel about Tom Thibodeau. I feel like Tom Thibodeau is essentially Mark Jackson to this team when Mark Jackson was the coach of the Golden State Warriors. What I mean by that is that team under Mark Jackson was good. They were a consistent playoff team, but they were never able to reach their ceiling until he left. And I believe the same thing is true of head coach Tom Thibodeau. I believe when the Knicks find their next head coach, I believe when the Knicks find their next head coach, whoever that head coach is, that head coach is going to be able to lead the Knicks to greater lengths, to greater lengths, to a place we have not seen the Knicks go to for many, many years. But even though I believe that, I know that, and I'm sure a lot of you understand that as well too, I think we also can understand that logically, we're not going to see that happen right away because Tom Thibodeau is not forcing that issue. Could he have done things better? Absolutely. Should he have done things better? Absolutely. I wanted to see better things from Tom Thibodeau, but I also wanted to see better defense from this team, better things from this roster. So those two things are true. And because of that, I believe that Leon Rose and this Knicks front office are going to be making significant changes this offseason to the roster more than the coaching staff. If you see coaching staff changes, they're not going to be at they're not going to be at the head coach level. They're going to be at the assistant coach level. That's where I see it happening. For the team, for the actual roster, you're going to see a lot of changes to the bench without a doubt. The bench unit is going to be switched with players that Tom Thibodeau trusts, that he will play consistently during the regular season and during the postseason. And that way the bench has chemistry going into the postseason, something that we were sorely missing this year. We didn't have that. And even the starters, they had it to a degree, but not to the length, not to the experience level that you wanted them to be at. So I think another year with this team, with the right additions, is exactly what we're going to see moving forward. However, and I want to put a big however here, superstars. Superstars will shift all of this. Starting, what time is it now? In 45 minutes, give or take, there's going to be a report that drops that says Giannis Antetokounmpo is likely considering joining the Knicks. Probably due to odds, spotted in New York. Something like that is going to happen. Why? Because the New York Knicks have effectively entered their offseason. And once that happens, boom, the floodgates to all the would-be superstars being linked to the Knicks, all of that becomes active. I'm just preparing you guys for what's about to happen and what's about to come. But don't believe everything that you hear. With Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they always look at cost. If the cost doesn't make sense, they're not going to entertain a trade for anybody. So let's break this down again so nobody's confused. The Knicks are going to be making changes this offseason. Coaching changes will happen, but likely not at the head coach level, at least not yet, given what Tom Thibodeau did this year. At least that's my understanding of the situation. If things change and shift, I'll definitely update you guys on that situation. The other change is the roster change. The bench absolutely getting upgrades. That's without a doubt. The starting unit for the Knicks likely not going to change unless the superstar that the Knicks want is out there and the cost for that superstar makes sense to Leon Rose and this Knicks front office. But there's another caveat to that. The Knicks have to fully believe that whoever that player they trade for is the missing piece, the missing link to the Knicks getting a championship. If all of that is true, then major changes are happening. But if the Knicks can't guarantee that, then the roster you see today, right now, you're likely going to see that same roster next year with a couple of changes to the bench and maybe a change or two to the starting unit. We don't know officially yet. We're going to have to wait and see. But given what we saw tonight against the Indiana Pacers, given what we saw during this series, during the regular season, all the reports that have come out, the reports that we've covered, and everything that we've discussed today, it's clear. Changes are coming for New York. The only question you have to ask yourself is, when are those changes coming? And I think the easiest answer to that is the offseason. You might hear some rumblings. This might happen. This might happen. That might happen. Sure. But none of it means anything until the first official day of the offseason. And once that comes, then we're going to be able to, And then when that comes, then we're going to be able to unpack all of the details and get you up to speed with everything that's actually going on. But as of right now, this is where we are. The Knicks season is over. We got knocked out of the postseason again by the Indiana Pacers in 6 games. And now New York is headed to Cancun. A lot of thoughts, a lot of decisions, and a lot of things will be happening moving forward. But as of right now, we just have to roll with the loss, roll with the punches, and experience everything that's going on right now. I appreciate you guys rocking and rolling with me for this last 20 minutes as we not only broke down exactly why the Knicks lost Game 6 to the Indiana Pacers, but also covered the changes that will be coming moving forward. And the roster changes, they could be significant, especially if the Knicks look to trade for a superstar. And if the Knicks look to trade for a superstar, one of the names that's likely going to be on the table for that deal is Mikal Bridges. Now, I don't know if that's going to be true for Giannis, but if the Knicks entertain a trade for Kevin Durant, the one name consistently that has been mentioned in that deal has been Mikal Bridges. The only question is, will Leon Rose even pull the trigger on that type of deal? Is it too early to do that? Or is he going to want to extend Mikal Bridges first, give this team a few years together before he breaks it up? We're going to have to look at Leon, look at the moves that are available, and see actually what he ends up doing during this offseason. But if the right move is available, I can't see how Leon Rose turns down that move, because for him, for this front office, he has always made moves that nobody saw coming that helps this team now and in the future. And if that move exists, Leon Rose will find it and he will definitely make it. I appreciate you guys joining the live stream. Thank you guys for joining. And thank you guys for keeping your support here and alive for the Knicks Recap channel. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I see you guys going crazy in the chat. We had some crazy super chats as well go off. So before we end today's stream, I'm going to go to the chat, get some of your comments about the season, what's going to happen moving forward, talk about some of those super chats, and then close the show. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate you. Let's go to those super chats really quickly. You guys have been awesome. For anybody who's wondering what's in the cup, this is a coconut. What did I make here? A coconut. I don't know. It's coconut rum and a little bit of ginger, a little bit of lime. Try to keep it pretty basic. Let's go ahead to the super chats. We got Benjamin, $2 super chat. Just giving a like, just some support. I appreciate you. Ryan with a $20 super chat. I see him all over the comments all the time. I really appreciate that. My guy, Oran, who's always been a member of the channel. He re-upped for a member for 5 months again. And he was at an MSG watch party. Brunson was bad. He was bad. I do agree with that. We mentioned the Knicks stars did not have it tonight. Jalen Brunson struggled, had a lot of those turnovers as well, too. Did not do what he needed to do with the ball. I was pretty shocked by Brunson's performance. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Karl-Anthony Towns again, too. I mean, shocking to see that in a closeout game. You never want to expect that. But let's go to the chat, see what you guys have to say before we close out. I want to kind of end this stream before 12 a.m. so that way I can edit, get some things out. I wasn't sure if I was going to even, I wasn't even sure if I was going to do a stream today because I didn't know, obviously what was going to happen with everything, but I'm glad I did because it was good to see you guys, talk to you guys, and you guys have supported me all season, so it's good to get some engagement with you guys. Carl Knight says, if we need a coach that fit the identity of this team, we don't just need a big name coach for this name. I would look at the Cavs assistant coach, Johnny Bryant, who used to have ties with the Knicks. Johnny Bryant is a very good candidate. I don't know if the Knicks would look at him because, I mean, if they wanted that, they would have kept him, right? I think they would have tried to make it more lucrative for him to stay. I don't know. That's a good idea, but I don't see it happening right now. And I don't honestly even know if he would be the coach that takes this Knicks team over the hump. We don't really know that yet. Excuse me. Let's see here. We got my guy, Mello. We go back to Mello. Mello says, great year led by you, recap on all facets of the New York Knicks, keeping us updated on and off the court. We as fans appreciate you. And me as a content creator appreciate you guys. I don't have a show without you guys. This is not my career without you guys. I don't call this my day-to-day without you guys. So thank you, first and foremost. I know David had a question. I want to go to David's question. David says, question, Troy, what's the Knicks' first offseason move? 1, focus on the bench. 2, add Mike Malone to the staff as an assistant. So if things go wrong, he'll be the next head coach next season. Or 3, add a star. Please let me know what you think. I appreciate you. First of all, got to say welcome to my guy Donald Smith for joining the membership, for joining the membership for this channel. I really appreciate that. For anybody who doesn't know, we do have memberships that go on for this channel where we drop very exclusive content. We are going to be getting back to doing giveaways as well, too. I talked to a lot of the members. I've confirmed with them. You guys want giveaways back, so we will be doing giveaways. But here's the thing. I'm going to be changing the giveaways. I'm going to be creating exclusive merch for these giveaways. So that way, when I give it to you guys, it is only for you. I will be selling that merch on the website. However, it would be very, very small quantities of that exact merchandise. So it's not like everybody's going to have access to it. I'm going to start doing that for giveaways. So everybody is a little bit more happy with that. And I'm also going to be doing ticket giveaways every January. So every January, members will be able to get free tickets to MSG if you're a member during my giveaways. I might do a raffle of 2, might do a raffle of 4. It really does depend, but I promise I'm looking into it. Let's go here. Nelly Nell says, if I had an ideal coach to coach this current roster, I think Eric Spoelstra would be a good fit. He probably would be, but you know what? I don't know how he would do right now with this current Knicks team in the modern NBA. And I don't know if he's ever going to leave Miami, to be quite honest. Excuse me. Let's see here. David says, this was definitely the best Knicks season I've ever seen in my lifetime as a Knicks fan. So I will give the Knicks a standing ovation for their season. Still heartbroken they lost, but what a season. I kind of feel that way as well, David. It hits my chest here. I kind of feel happy that the Knicks did something that we never saw in 25 years, making it back to the ECF. But at the same time, you wanted to see them do more. They could have done more. Losing that first game against Indiana, for the life of me, will probably go down as the game that destroyed this Knicks season. And the crazy part is, I think that New York could probably be better. Would probably be better. No, let me say this. I think the Knicks likely won game one anyways. So imagine that. They win game one and they still force a game seven at MSG. Because I think if you look at the goaltending in overtime, that layup from Jalen Brunson, that was not called a goaltending by Miles Turner. If that's called and it doesn't cause the Andrew Nembhard open three at the other end, I think the Knicks win that game. I think the Knicks are up right now in a tie. Excuse me. I think the Knicks are up right now in a tie series, and I think we're going back to MSG for game seven. I know, don't look back at the past. It doesn't matter anymore. But if you look back at game one, that was our game. We had it. We shouldn't have lost that game. I'm just saying. We shouldn't have lost it. Excuse me. My guy Daryl in the house says, so much for our coach to think that Obi Toppin could not be part of the Knicks rotation. And he's traded for a second-round pick and returns the favor by outplaying our Knicks lineup. Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe it. Obi Toppin outplayed us. Obi Toppin outplayed the Knicks. Is that serious? He hit threes. He got block shots on Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, dunked on Karl-Anthony Towns, dunking everywhere, transition baskets. Embarrassment. Not the way you want to close out a series. Excuse me, guys. Not the way you want to close out a series. Peter from Belize says, I think Thibs moves up to the front office and the Knicks bring in a new coach. It worked out for Brad Stevens and the Celtics. It did, but I don't know if the Knicks are going to do that right away. Maybe it happens. You know, we'll wait and see. We have no idea what Leon Rose is going to do, but given the fact of the progression of this team, I can't see them going to another head coach. A couple more comments, and then we're going to call it quits for the end of the night here. Donald says, Troy, I've been watching you and appreciate you very much. Hey, my guy, I appreciate you. A new member, supporting, watching, commenting, that helps. All of it helps. So as much as you support me and appreciate me, just know I appreciate you just as much. Thank you very much, man. Max B says, Thibs to the front office would be okay with me. I like Thibs, but he isn't flexible enough to use new players. That is a crazy comment that absolutely says everything that is true. Absolutely agree with that here. Let me make sure the stream is still going good. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Excuse me. Let's see here. YBCJ says, I know the captain leader of the Knicks wants to have his friends there and have the Nova Knicks, but he needs to make moves, and in order for that to happen, something has to happen to either Hart or Mikal. Very, very good point there. And I think if you're looking at a major trade, I don't think you're far off. For a superstar, Mikal might have to be added to that, to be quite honest. I don't know about Hart. Maybe Hart. Maybe teams would want Hart. I don't know if the Knicks would part with Hart, but maybe. Oron says, Troy, thank you so much for giving me the best content ever this season. Hey, that is a compliment. Thank you for being a member and for always supporting the channel. I see your comments. I can't respond to every comment. I get about 1,000 comments a day, guys, so I can't respond to everything. But I see all of you guys. I see the support, and I really do appreciate it. I know some people don't appreciate it. Some people don't like it. Some people don't understand that this is recap. This is me. This is legitimately who I am when I talk about this team. But for those of you who actually understand what I'm doing, the content that I'm creating, and how I'm doing things from a day-to-day basis, you guys have already won the game more than so many other people. For you guys, I do the content for you. I see your comments, and I know you get it. And as long as you guys get it, I'll continue to do my thing. You guys make it worth it every day. And don't think I'm going anywhere. Even though in the summer, it will be a little bit less in terms of the amount, it's still going to be every day. We're still going to have content for you every day. That's never going to change. So don't think that just because we're headed to the offseason, recap is going away on vacation. That's not happening. I am definitely going to be here to get you through the summer and make you sure you know everything that's going on with the Knicks. So don't worry. You're going to be here with me as we get through this during the summer. We have draft night to cover. Still got to cover the draft. Still got to cover those draft picks. Still got to cover the offseason, the moves, the extensions. So many things to come. Don't you worry. A lot, and I do mean a lot of things to discuss coming up. This is not the end, just a new beginning for this next part of where the Knicks are going. Let's see here. Chris says, Cat and Bridges for Giannis and Kuzma works on the trade machine. Oh my goodness. You guys are already active. It's not even midnight. Can we wait till midnight? Can we give it 27 more minutes before we go to Thankathon real quick? Can we try doing that? Sharon says, let's get started again. I like that one. I might use that. I appreciate you. David says, I would like Dante DiVincenzo back if that is even possible. And speaking of the NBA draft, I wonder if the Knicks will make a move on draft night. You know, draft night moves for the Knicks, I don't know if it happens right away. I think the Knicks are going to look at who's available first, superstars, all of that stuff, see what teams are even looking to get into any players or win now moves or things like that. Maybe they'll entertain that, but I don't know if they're going to make a big draft night move because I don't see them going after any player in the draft right now. They're likely looking at superstars, not young players. So it's a good question. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Danny says, why didn't the coach call a timeout early in the fourth? Why didn't the coach play Mitchell Robinson earlier? You want to talk about why things didn't happen? Where was Mitch? He was the biggest impactful player in that first quarter, in that first half. Where was he? Doesn't make sense. All right, two more comments and we're going to be closing up shop here. Carl Knight says, no, we can't wait. Knicks need Giannis for Cat. Ooh, man, people already giving up on Cat. Anthony says, we need to spend money on the bench. I like to end on that, and I'm glad we're going to do that. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm saying? It's a divide. Some people love when the Knicks are going after those main big-name superstar type of players, while others want the Knicks to keep the team the same and go after bench players. Here's the reality of what the Knicks are going to do. This offseason, the Knicks are going to look at every possibility. Superstars, bench players, everything. They don't discriminate. Leon Rose doesn't discriminate. What he does is business. And he does business extremely well. And it comes down to cost. And it comes down to what that cost is going to give you. If the cost gets you a player that gets you a championship, Leon Rose is making that move. If the player you want is Giannis or Kevin Durant, then one of the players you're including in that trade is either Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, or Karl-Anthony Towns. Without a doubt. For number one, the money. Number two, because other teams want impactful players back. So they're going to ask for those players. Just keep that in mind. If the Knicks don't want to do that or the cost is too high, then they're going to look at the bench, making upgrades to the bench, potentially adding more size to the bench, getting another backup center, getting more wing size, more wing depth. They're going to be doing that as well, too. They're going to be drafting. Potentially, they might elevate some of their rookies into those spots. A Tyler Kolek, for instance, a Ariel Hukporti, a Kevin McCullough Jr., Pacome Dadier. We're going to have to look out for this as well, too. The Knicks Summer League team should be one of the strongest teams going into this year because of the players we're going to have on that team and maybe potentially another steal in this year's draft for the Knicks. We know they prioritize getting talent on any level. They're going to do the same thing on draft night as well, too. Definitely in the second round because that's what the Knicks do nowadays, especially under Leon Rose. Moves will be made. The Knicks will not look the same as they do this year, next season. The only question is, how different will they look? And the way to answer that is by waiting for the offseason, seeing who's available, and then looking at the cost. If the cost makes sense, this Knicks team will look very different next season. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks being eliminated and now will be making major changes headed into next season? And the changes they're likely going to be making, either changing their head coach, Tom Thibodeau, or changing their roster completely. Or changing their roster completely. Let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.